Why? Why'd you do it?
It wasn't my fault. There was black ice.
That's what they all say. Come on.
It
is your
50
fault.
degrees, 10 miles away, and it was 31 at that one spot.
I don't believe you.
It was.
Except for I was there, so
Yeah.
I know exactly you're right.
It was crazy.
But let's stop bickering and let's get this thing fixed. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my buddy Bob's house. Unfortunately, he has wrecked his car and we are going to get it fixed. But first we're gonna start taking some things off and kind of show you what happened. So back here we have just a little bit of carnage. I can see a broken end link, a completely flattened and bent lower control arm, inner and outer tie rod damage, and that ball joint looks like it's exploded. Not to mention the fact that the strut is probably bent. We're not gonna worry about that either. They're not just gonna worry about that. We're gonna worry about this. The problem here. So obviously there's a bunch of damage here and we need to get all of this stuff taken off so we can replace it with all fresh parts. There's no damage to the unibody, so all we really need to do is get all this stuff off, replace it with new parts, and you should be good to go. Back here, the damage is a little bit more subtle. You actually can't really see a whole lot, but we think that this is probably bent just a little bit and this is bent just a little bit. So we're gonna throw a couple new arms in and put his race suspension back in here, and this should be good to go. So we've got just a little bit of carnage right here. You can see here's the main bit of damage on the lower control arm. Normally you have to pound these out and it just kind of fell out. So that's out. And then the strut, which is very, very bent, as you saw from me spinning it around earlier. So now that we have everything out, we can pull out the sway bar to get the other end link off, and then we can get the steering rack out so we can get the whole front end torn apart, and then we can start putting it all back together. Okay, so we've got the steering rack out, and that's very, 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 very bent. He managed to bend the ball joint out of the socket. Like it's bent. I've never seen one move quite like that before without completely breaking. Yeah. Good job. Way to go. So now we can look under here, and there's a whole lot of nothing. But that means the whole front end is torn apart. So now we can start tearing apart the left rear corner of the car and get the rest of this thing torn down. So everything's now torn apart. Here's all of the broken parts, which surprisingly for how it looked when we started, really not that bad. Two very, very, very bent wheels, a bent strut, a very bent steering rack and outer tie rod. These two from the rear are questionable if they were bent. We were just trying to play it safe. Yeah, we won't even talk about that.
That's not bent.
It's actually,
Is it bent?
it is. See that? That's bent right there. Ha. And then the banana lower control arm and the ball joint that decided to fall out. So that's all the bent stuff. Car's torn apart, so now it's ready to go back together. So the car's all torn apart. That's where we're gonna end it for tonight. We're both very tired. It's time to go home, clean up, and get ready for another day. Had a lot of fun here at what we're gonna call Site B. Thank you, Bob, for letting me come out and help you fix your crashed car that you crashed.
Hey, I'll take the free help any day.
Yeah, no problem. But with that being said, thank you guys all for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.